So, Mitch, you could just go put it out there. Put it out there how much you hate the retailers that they have seen the Inhumans trailer, and we haven't.
I mean, I don't hate them. I do.
Envious?
No, I generally hate retailers.
Oh, this,
Retailers, they get to see the one thing I want to see before me, so fuck them.
we did see Cloak and Dagger, though.
We did.
We did.
No, I don't know what you thought of it, but
I really liked it. I mean,
the general consensus from what I've seen has been pretty positive towards it.
really, I see a lot of people hating on it just because it's teen romancy stuff, and
I mean,
that's
yeah, that's all the argument I've seen. This is kind of like teen romance can be good.
and
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the people who love this kind of stuff don't necessarily love teen romancy stuff and go into the Twilight movies and stuff like that. You know
But
what I mean?
I think that the teen romance has got that connotation behind it of where it is a bit like Arrow,
Cheesy
where
or
it
bad.
just it's cheesy and it repeats plot lines. Like how many times have him and Felicity done it? And it's like you just done the same fucking plot line like 8 times. Whereas it's only going to be 10 episodes, so it's going to be a narrative. It's not going
I
to be proceed.
I'll mention this probably on the next cast when we actually talk about it or whatever. But it's like you don't have to watch it,
No, you don't. No.
right? You don't have to watch it just because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
It's cool that like you know what I mean. You don't have to read every single comic. You don't have to force yourself to do all that. I don't read every single comic. I like certain ones. I read those. So happens. I thought Cloak and Dagger looked cool. I'll watch it, and Freeform has some stuff that I liked. I used to like it when it was ABC Family. So
See, like for me, like I'm not usually a teen drama guy,
I
but
am all the time. You already know.
where I like really like Cloak, I say like I love Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
No,
So
they're my baby.
you'll give it the
Like I was
benefit of the
expecting.
doubt, right?
Well, there is that. Well, I was gonna give benefit of doubt anyway. Like
This is true.
I'm gonna watch it no matter what. But like I don't think people were expecting a teen drama
I mean, but that's
because
what they
not a lot of
are.
people really know about like Cloak and Dagger.
Oh,
So it's
that's
kind
true.
of it's gonna be a teen drama.
And
Like
if you know who they are, you're like, well, that's what we kind of
yeah.
expected because that's them, you know.
Yeah, and like, I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, it looks too much like a failed young adult movie." It's kind of like I agree with that. It has got that young adult
But that's what
cheap
it is.
movie.
That's a teen
Yeah, I know,
drama.
but like, you look at any young adult cheap movie, it's just kind of like, oh, that's got
Oh,
that
a
weird look
Lifetime
to it.
movie, like one of those.
Kind of, yeah, I suppose.
But that's
But,
there's some good Lifetime movies. Good
yeah.
is relative because they're probably all
Oh,
terrible, but
yeah.
I enjoyed some of them. I think they're
Yeah.
they're they're that stupid kind of funny. But that's Lifetime movies, and this isn't gonna be that. This is gonna be like I'm probably gonna hear about like the girls I work with talk about this because after they finish Pretty Little Liars, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what is this new one?" or whatever, and it's gonna be what they like. That's the kind of stuff. So
Like it could look really bad, but the fact that it looks like a Cloak and Dagger thing.
yeah,
Like they have just captured that perfectly. Admittedly, they've changed some stuff.
hmm
I don't care because there's like I think 36 total issues of Cloak and Dagger ever made. So it's kind of like you can kind of do what you want a little bit. But
hmm all right.
uh,
Welcome to another episode of Off the Page. We finally, not finally, but we did do it 2 in a row because we missed one.
it's 2 in a row last time.
No, we missed one before that. We missed a week. I'm not talking episodes. I'm talking weeks.
Oh, episode is a week, isn't it?
Mm, I guess last episode was 2 weeks technically
Wow, no. What was the last one too?
because we missed one.
No, we did one before. It was the one before that we missed.
No, it was the
Yeah.
one last week that we missed a week.
Are you sure?
Yes, pretty sure.
Oh yeah, because yeah.
Because
Hold on.
the one
Did
before last week was when we talked about X-Men and Inhumans Prime.
or no, that would have been 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's not the one before last week.
Yeah, it
That'd be
is.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was.
No, because the one before last week was when Royals and X Men Gold came out. The week before that was when Prime and well, yeah, the
Yeah,
Prime
it was
issue.
3 weeks ago.
No, it's the,
Here. Let's see this real quick. So, it was Let me see.
Last week X-Men Blue came out, so that's 1 week. The week before that was when...
Gold.
I know it's 3 weeks, you're right.
There
Yeah. No, it was 4 weeks ago the Prime
Oh,
missions came
4
out.
weeks. We're both wrong.
It had to have been.
1, 2. I guess if you count this week, 4 weeks. But if I just go 1,
Cool.
2,
Oh, yeah,
3.
I am counting this week.
Okay. I'm
No,
not. I'm just
no.
going like 1, 2, 3, and it was on the 30th.
I'd-
Welcome to Off the Page. I'm Joe. That's Mitch. On Twitter at Halftime Joe at Mitch692, and boy,
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's 3 weeks.
there you go. See, there you go.
By the time people hear this, it would be 4 weeks.
Oh, this is true.
It's
This is
the
true. It
fourth
will
Wednesday.
be 4. So technically, you're right, just not yet.
Actually, no, technically I'm right anyway, because it's the 4th Wednesday. So it's been that month.
You know, I didn't go to school for this, Mitch. I didn't go to school
Well, I
to
did.
learn how to. I didn't go to school to learn how to.
I got an education, kind of.
I didn't.
I failed a lot.
I hated geography, which this isn't, but still, I hated geography. I just like to tell people that I hated geography. This is why we have Google Maps. Why don't we, they could tell
Well,
me where to go.
geography's more than Google Maps.
This is true.
That's
But it
not
tells
just
me where to
an
go.
Well, it's more than that.
I guess that's what I always thought it was. Though. All right, so we have a lot of comic news to talk about. Some really big stuff happened, and then some even bigger things happen in the actual comics of the week. So we might as well just get into it, because if we don't, this might end up being 3 hours, and we don't got that kind of time. So
We've never even done a 2-hour show yet. It's never going to be.
We were close.
We were close, but
What
we've
was
never
it?
done a 2-hour.
Was it at 150 or 145?
I think it was. I think we might have done a 159.
150. I feel like
Yeah.
we were 1 minute off.
I'm certain that it was that. To be fair, I'm certain about everything I'm always doing. So.
You got to be confident. It don't matter if you're right or wrong. You just got to be confident.
Because that was like one episode you went like, oh yeah, I just stopped it dead on that, and when Army uploaded it, it's actually like, well, it's a second.
That
off.
was a 59.99 one, and that was in almost an hour. But we've
How
done an
could,
hour
how could it
50
be
one.
$59.99?
I mean, 59.
I didn't go to school for this.
You're right. Okay, let's just get into it before we go on this track of my, however I do things in a very extravagant way. So let's get into it with some Marvel news, though. And we're going to be talking about something that's just recently, like the Diamond Comics Summit thing, where Marvel...
Well, everything's come out of the Diamond Summit.
Yeah, this is... So, Marvel announces Legacy for 2017. Mitch, tell the kids what Legacy is exactly.
It's another rebranding. Surprise.
Surprise. I'm not
We're doing
surprised.
Legacy first. I thought we were doing Generations. What's my bad?
That's still a rebranding.
I was like, ooh.
It's still a rebranding.
But yeah, it's just from essentially what it is. It's actually their rebirth, because Legacy is going to start off with a one-shot. You don't know who. I don't think we know who's writing this one-shot.
Marvel Legacy #1, DC Rebirth #1. Yeah, Rebirth Legacy. I mean, I felt like this is going to be a good one, because if it's 80 pages or whatever, how much? Well, who's writing it? That's the thing.
That's what I was looking at.
I don't think they ever say.
They
who's
haven't
writing.
announced the writing. We've got no creative team on this. We just know that yes, there is going to be a one-shot called Marvel Legacy #1.
I don't mind this.
So
why not?
the,
Take
the
best
Generations
one?
comparison of Rebirth, as I was saying, finally I can say it right. It was not a Rebirth. This is a Rebirth.
It all depends on who's writing it too, like, because they got Jeff Johns, head honcho, to do Rebirth.
It's probably going to be Bendis.
Oh,
It's kind of like, oh, can it not
what
be
if it
Bendis?
was Spencer?
I'd be fine with Spencer writing, to be honest.
Because I don't think it'd be Charles Soule, because he seems like one of the contractors, and I just feel like
Well, they're all contracts.
I get, but I mean Bendis, I guess technically not, right?
Well, Bendis is one of like the Dan Slots. He's like the old guard that's never going to leave.
That's what I mean. Like those are like a Dan Slott or Bendis, I could see writing it, because, like you said, one of the old guards, ones where they've been around.
I mean, I
the block for-
suppose that they might not do just a single right.
They might do
one single right. It might be like Generations where you got different people writing it. I'd love if like Tom Taylor or Jason Aaron did it. If Jason Aaron Jason Aaron's got to do this.
Isn't he? He's leaving one of the series. I forget which one.
Jason, he's leaving Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. Well, was it Doctor
It's going
Strange
to
or
be
Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme?
well, Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Because it's Dennis Hopper's taken over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but really, we don't know too much. There's really just a photo out there of Marvel Legacy Fall 2017, and it's just been teased. And
We do know some things.
oh, we know some things about that, but we don't know creative yet. We don't.
No.
We just know it's coming out 2017. Some
But
little inklings of what might happen, though.
But we know that this is probably either going to be where Parker Industries goes away, or it's going to go out of that. And they're apparently going to be returning to Planet Hulk in the Hulk books.
Ooh.
I don't know how that works.
It's almost like that's in a movie.
Yeah, I do wonder if they've actually typoed synergy with Legacy. It's kind of like, no guys, this is Marvel synergy.
Can that be a new catchphrase? Like when we see Marvel DC doing something, and it's like it's almost like it's in a movie.
Well, I mean, it's already a catchphrase basically, isn't it?
Yeah, but like that needs to be on shirts. That needs to be like, because you see them do stuff, and it's like it's almost like they have a movie coming out. It's almost like that.
We could make a shirt. Why not?
Yeah. Don't take our ideas, guys. I just think that's a funny catchphrase. But yeah, I mean, apparently the resurrection of Tony Stark.
Yeah, So even though he kind of never technically died.
True. True that. I mean,
it's funny, like with Secret Empire, people are going like, "Why is Tony Stark there?" He's like, "He's not. He's just an AI controlling us." So,
I mean, when people think of Tony Stark, I think they just think of suit, which is weird. I get it, but it's like that's Iron Man. Tony Stark is, the guy. So there's that. And I assume this might be kicking off too with issues similar to Rebirth and how Superman Rebirth #1, where it might be Iron Man Legacy #1. I wouldn't hate it. I know people would not bash them, but roast them on the internet just because like.
Oh, let's be honest. The week and a half Marvel's had, that it can't get any worse. And the fact that even DC, I'll get into it a bit more.
Yeah.
But like people at DC, mainly Romita Jr., you should shut the fuck up, really.
Oh, he says something. I don't remember what I don't really hear what he said.
Well, he's come out and said like you can't force diversity. And it's like, do you understand where you're working?
Was he saying that? Because I kept seeing comments of him saying that because they didn't want to pay the higher artists or whatever. That
was him talking about Marvel and the artist bit, which fair enough on that bit. If they don't want to pay, they don't want to pay. He's got every right to say that. But it does kind of come off a bit salty. But he does say you can't force diversity, and we're doing it the right way. It's kind of like, hold on, DC is the home of forcing diversity. Or forcing different characters.
It's also the home of withholding diversity, because sometimes Batwoman didn't want to get married. That's still the thing everybody's going to go to. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Loads of the people who said that DC's doing diversity right on Twitter, because apparently they weren't, because they said they were. Fuck you.
They said they weren't?
Well, no, people on Twitter were saying that Marvel should look at DC, it's like a couple of weeks ago, for how to do diversity, because DC's doing it right and they're successful. And it's like, well, if they were doing it right and they're successful, why is this now a thing?
All right. So with that, really not much else, right? I would say, real quick, would you hate it if they had like Marvel or Iron Man Legacy #1?
No, I'm fully expecting it.
I think it'd make it like something that we know. Be like, oh, okay, so this we have a feeling of what's gonna happen if that happens, and then I would get excited because I liked all the Rebirth one shots, and I think Legacy would do the same thing where it'll be something that everybody likes. Honestly,
yeah. So. I think they just need to get back to the nuts and bolts of it all. And just like,
what's a property Marvel owns that can do something like DC did, where they're bringing in Watchmen?
No, let's not do this.
Why not?
Well, actually, I mean, to be fair, they're kind of bringing in some Ultimate characters.
No, but I meant like that's not Marvel Comics.
Well, it is Marvel Comics because it's the Ultimate Universe. But
I was gonna say you could.
Let's not. I think there's Miracle Man, whatever his name is.
I don't know what do they have. Let me check real quick. Marvel.
I'm certain it is Miracle Man as Marvel. You could do that, but no.
You
could do Star Wars.
That's what I was saying. But then at the same time, that's like an ongoing thing, and it's in the continuity. I was like, that's too much. You don't want to mess with Lucasfilm on that.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that at all because like that's just.
Why not? I think that'd be cool. Like I don't know. I just
why?
like the idea.
But why?
Why not?
Like, there's no
why not?
reason to do it. They've only got Mr. Miracle. I don't think they actually have the rights properly to that.
Hashtag why not, Mitch? Hashtag why not?
Hashtag what?
Well, nobody ever asks why. People always ask why, but I say.
But here's the thing: like DC had a reason to put Watchmen in the main continuity. What reason does Marvel have to put anyone else outside of continuity into it?
All right. Ready to move on to the next place? So,
just quickly.
Go ahead.
They did to kind of like bolster down that they do care about diversity. They had the massive panel with like all the new characters on it, with like the slogan saying "This is Marvel." It's just kind of like.
To be honest, I just think both of them care about diversity. I mean, no matter what the internet trolls say, I think both of them care. Both of them just have a different way of doing them. But I think ultimately
the way I see it, like Marvel, like where like DC was so far down and Marvel was so high up, Marvel could take that risk and like just swap out characters where DC couldn't. So they kind of like, as the DO said, they had to actually please the old fans before they try and go to new fans.
I mean, I'm just gonna go back. Like, who cares? You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of people care, but
they're still buying it.
Well, not necessarily.
I mean, apparently they are.
If you look at both of their sales, no one's buying comics these days.
Well, that's also because we're not counting digital, because they don't tell digital. But I assume a lot of people buy digital.
Right, yeah, I mean, fair enough. Like, the North American market isn't buying physical copies anymore.
I assume majority of people buy digital now.
Because
it's so much easier. All right, we'll move on to the next piece of news. We got details on Marvel's Generations. Mitch, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's not much from what I can't remember what we knew last time, but it's more of a sneak peek. So we know now. I think we know the creative teams on it. Mm-hmm. So like the Wolverines, which is Generations, the best. You have all new Wolverine, which is Laura Kinney, and you have Logan seemingly coming back. That's going to be done by Taylor and Rosanas. That's his name. Carol Danvers is getting 2 because you're getting the Marvel one and you're getting the Miss Marvel one, and I think they're called the Bravest and the Marvels, the 2 separate ones. You got the Thunder, which is the Mighty Thor and the Unworthy Thor, even though that Thor has a hammer, and that cover is me immensely. Just like, how you can't be unworthy and have a hammer. I said the Marvel ones, yeah, and they're the only ones they've released so far, I think. I know where you got the Strongest. You got Bruce Banner and Almost Days Cho, written by Greg Pak. The Archers, which is Clint Barton and Kate Bishop, written by Kelly Thompson. The Iron, stupid name, which is Iron Man and Ironheart, is written by Bendis. You got the Bravest. The Americas, Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, written by Spencer, so yes. Yeah. And obviously Taylor's writing the Generations ones. And obviously they've got the artists as well, but I can't bother to go through them. And I think they're all going to be one-shots, which is going to be running August to September. So I'm pretty certain that's one a week, if they can do it properly. But yeah, 10-issue maxi series. Put the universe-wide team up that will shed light on the most pressing questions about the future of the Marvel Universe and the fate of everyone's favourite heroes. We should know more, actually, after this weekend, I think.
I think so.
And that's all we know for this one.
We're still confused about why he's called Unworthy Thor, and it doesn't look like him.
It just triggers me. It really does. It's such an oxymoron of a cover. Like, he's not Unworthy Thor. Like, it's not even an argument to be had. That is old classic Thor.
Yeah. Oh.
It's just a strange way they're going about this.
It's just also because these are just one shots, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a 10 issue series of one shots.
Interesting. I wonder if they're in continuity.
Yeah, they're in continuity.
Oh.
This is leading into Legacy.
Oh, you're right.
But it's weird because this is, I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, let's do our own version of Rebirth, which this is.
But it seems like it's going upside down, where it's like you have all the one shots and then it's the big one shot where Rebirth is. Yeah. It's kind of like how I say I think it could work, because why not? Anything can really work as long as you. It just enough.
Seems like a clusterfuck of a way to do it. It's just kind of like they don't really have a plan. I think it's quite evident at this point. They don't really know where they know where they need to go, but they're taking the satellite, the GPS route, which is taking them through like a fucking field in the lake.
You know, you sound like if I just took that clip out of the audio clip out, it sounds like you're talking about the DC movie universe.
I mean, you could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, just hearing that, I was like, it's a lot of the times when he talks about the DC extended universe, like they kind of know where they want to go, but they're going, and it's kind of like they're doing the opposite. They
don't even know the fuck where they want to go. To be honest.
But it's like, also, you know how you say, it's like it's like the opposite of what Rebirth is. It's a different way where it's all the one shots, then the big one shot. Whereas in like Rebirth, the big one shot, then all the one shots, or the little ones, and then it's like the movies where Marvel has 1, and then the big one, and then it's just different.
I think where like Rebirth was like that's that one issue of these are all the characters. This is where they are. This is where they're going forward. This is their relationship with each other. Generations is half of that, and then the Legacy one shot is going to be the other half.
Ooh, okay.
So it's kind of like this sets up the dynamics and everything, and then Legacy pushes it all forward. Which it kind of makes sense, the fact that they've obviously looked at Rebirth and they've gone, we're going to copy that. Because they're not going to have an event for 18 months. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, well, and now we know why. Because you're literally copying DC.
Whatever works, right? If it ain't broke,
I mean, yeah, if it works, it works. We'll just have to see what the attrition rate is.
If it ain't broke, steal it from them.
Yeah.
As I say.
You know, like, if you look at some of DC's titles and oof.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, steal them. All right, woof. You know, I still say the way you think I would say it.
But woof.
Yeah.
But I was saying woof, not wolf.
Yeah, but that's the same way I say.
Shush.
All right, we'll move on to the next piece of news, which is DC announces Dark Matter titles, which will be spinning out of Dark Days, Dark Nights, all that dark. But everything's dark right now. But the interesting thing here is there's this like banner, and there's a trailer, but there's this image.
Oh, is there actually a trailer?
Yeah. The New Age of Heroes, which sounds awesome. So, and DC Masterclass. It just seems like an interesting idea. I don't know if I feel like Marvel's done it, but not like I saw somebody say. Okay, first let's talk about what it actually is. Then we'll talk about what I think somebody said it was about. So, the thing said, first comes the Dark Days, which gives ways to the Dark Nights, which gives birth to the Dark Matter. Welcome to the new age of DC heroes. And then by that, after Dark Night Metal, Dark Matter will happen, which is basically, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new ongoing series, I'd assume. So it'd be Sideways by Dan DiDio and Justin Jordan, and it's
Sideways. It's got Kenneth Rocafort on it.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Then what does it say Sideways?
I don't know, but Sideways is made by Rocafort because he's on art. Yeah, if you look on the big like masterclass DC image where it's got them all, if you look at Sideways, the first name is Kenneth Rocafort.
Yeah, the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan DiDio, Justin Jordan, and Kenneth Rocafort.
But why has it got 3 people on it then?
Because 2 writers.
Why has it got 2 writers?
Some of them do. Like Superman has 2 writers. That's just. I always wonder how that works, but I guess it's just 2 directors on a movie.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. I just seemed really weird. I was like, hang on, you didn't say Rocafort.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Well, yeah, it's just, this is going to be Sideways is a teleporting teenager changed by the events of Dark Nights Metal. Okay. Sounds basic.
He is, if you want to compare it to someone, it's Blue Beetle 2.0. Cross with Spider-Man, cross with...
Wait, why is he...
Because it's basically, like...
I mean, I guess Blue Beetle was based out of Infinite Crisis.
It's the kid aspect, isn't it? Like, you know, it's like That's the Spider-Man aspect of it. And you've got the alien thing giving him powers. That's the Blue Beetle aspect and
But is
teleporting.
he an alien thing giving him powers?
It's an alien. Have
It
you seen the
just
art
says
for
they
it?
teleporting teenager changed by the events of Dark Matter.
Have you seen the art for it?
No, but I have it right here. So
There are
okay.
aliens involved in it.
Oh, is that what? Oh, because he's Hispanic. Derek, is that? No, he's Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Latino.
I'm gonna offend everyone. Fuck it, they're all the same.
Latino. Blob of dark matter. You know, fun fact: some Mexicans don't like to be called Latino, because that's
Well, no,
Latin country.
I say, isn't Latino?
The Latin countries.
No, but wasn't it like male and Latino is the female?
No, Latino is just what you call like everybody that's brown. That's like the thing. But that's fun fact. It's the Latin countries in Mexico.
But then what's
you're not
Latino
part of
then?
that. It's Latino, Latina. Is for girls. O is for men. But fun fact.
So as I just said, and you went no.
No, because you
Yeah,
said they don't like to be called. I said they don't like to be called Latino, and you're
Yeah, but
like,
I
well,
said isn't Latino for guys and
yeah.
Latina
Oh, yeah.
for...
I thought you said for girls. That's why. My bad.
Well, I did say for girls, for Latina.
Yeah. So I assume sideways. Okay, so first let's go down the descriptions, and then we'll go down how they look. All right. So sideways, teleporting teenager changed by the events of Dark Metal. The Silencer, Dan Abnett and John Romita Jr. Dan Abnett, bless his soul, will focus on honored guests, the former world's deadliest assassin, now trying for a quiet life in the suburbs until, surprise, her former life comes back to haunt her and she must become the Silencer to protect her family. Immortal Men, James Tynion, Jim Lee. Oh, and it tells you one's up September, October, and all that. December. So, a story about 5 mortal siblings who operate from the shadows, recruiting the elite against the foes who seek to bring about Armageddon. Damage. Robert Venditti does Green Lantern, did Exo Manowar, Tony as Daniel, in which Army recruit Ethan Avery is granted the power to unleash an unstoppable monster for an hour at a time. That reminds me of Hour Man, because, you know, he only that hour of a time. But that's an interesting thing. An Army recruit, and he has the power to unleash an unstoppable monster. That's interesting. That's an interesting.
It's the Hulk.
I guess, but
It's exactly the Hulk.
You know, I never thought of that. I guess I guess on it, but I guess, you know, I didn't think of it.
Did you see the artwork as well? It's the Hulk.
I didn't think of it as he was gonna become the monster. I thought he was gonna create one or bring it out.
I'm not sure if he becomes or if he does create one, but the artwork is just like it's the Hulk.
I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Okay, last one. New challengers. Scott Snyder got here. Andy Kubert. A reboot of the Challengers of the Unknown, but with a new cast and new mission. And blah, blah, there's a trailer. Okay, so Sideways, as we said, or you said, Blue Beetle-ish, Spider-Man-ish, teenagers. You got the diversity thingy going on from. And then these are all his supporting characters, I assume, too. Like Killspeed, and then Marco, Tyrone. He looks like a coach. He probably is the coach. It's a monster.
Wait, you've seen all that? I haven't got down here.
No, it's in the art thing on Sideways, and it tells you. It shows you.
No, I don't have any art. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, did I? Here, let me see. I don't know.
No, I've only got.
Then where were you seeing it?
I clicked the link you said.
Yeah, that one. We're seeing the same one.
But where's the art?
It's down on Sideways. You just.
No.
It's the
Why am
one
I
where
seeing Sideways now?
It's the one where you said there was a blob. There was a monster.
Oh, it wasn't loading on my thing.
Oh. So, and then, this is interesting. Tempest Fuginat, he's the villain. He looks very extraterrestrial. And then
he looks like something out of Jack Kirby.
The thing is, these are new characters, I assume, right?
Oh yeah, I think all of these are new characters.
Except for the challengers, I think. They're based off old characters. Because I'm pretty sure I've never really seen these characters around, and if they have, maybe DC bought them out and we're like, hey, we're gonna reboot them. Like, you know, they do it.
Yeah, I think the majority of them are new.
So I assume Scott Snyder's gonna be the creator of all of these, which is a dope thing.
Well, no, he's not the creator of all of them.
Yeah, because he's writing them in
No, these characters are being made by their creative teams that
Oh,
we
never
know.
mind. I
Scott
thought they were
Snyder's
all.
just introducing them into
I
the.
thought they were all gonna be in Dark Knight's Metal, and then he
No,
created them, and then DC was like, "Hey, this could be cool, and we could spin it off."
because
Okay.
if you see what DC's been saying at the Diamond Summit, they're saying that this is their diversity push,
Oh,
and fucking and
yeah.
like the DO said like we were doing it like
I,
we haven't really had that, like we don't have that many titles, like we've got like one female led book, or no, it's not one, it's something more than that,
what DC?
but yeah.
No, they have a handful.
Yeah, I know.
Batgirl.
I can't remember the
Okay.
amount you said,
There's
but
like probably 4 or 5,
yeah,
6.
they have like 92 titles out a month, and like they don't have that many.
I mean, that's
So
probably
like,
counting bi-weekly.
well, most of them are bi-weekly.
Yeah. Okay. So with this though, I think the thing if people read this, because a lot of people don't like to read new things, and that's the crux where if you want to push your diversity, right, you do it how Marvel did it. They did it with establishing titles and series and stuff like that. People don't like that because they read those and they want to see their old characters. Then you do with this, people just don't read it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
look at Mosaic. Mosaic,
Yeah.
like people didn't read it, but that book was great.
So people are like, "Oh, get this up, make it its own series or whatever." I don't want to see it in the series I read. You do that, but then nobody reads it.
Yeah,
So
like that's why Marvel pushed it the way they did, because people just don't read it on their own. I give these guys 12 issues. Every single one.
I would have been okay with a miniseries like that, 12 issues or something like that. Ongoing sounds nice. It seems like they want to build like these characters for a while, and I mean they look really different, and I like that they're all new characters basically. And then look, let's go to Immortal Man.
Like Sideways is the most interesting one to me. Like I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about like Damage or Silencer or the
Immortal Man
Challenge.
sounds interesting to me about these people who are just immortal. Yeah.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
siblings born at the dawn of time, Mitch. 5 siblings find that with eternal life comes eternal war.
You know, actually, I'll give that. I'll check that out. Even though they do look like the Wicked and the Divine, but different issues.
Recruiting the elite against the foes who seek to bring about. Okay, so
But like
Ghost
Sideways,
Fist.
I'm just thinking with Sideways for Rockefeller. Like it just looks great.
Yeah, I mean it looks interesting. It looks I probably gonna have more fun with that one out of the other ones. Damage, is that the one? Yeah. So
Damage
that's
is
the one
Hulk.
you're telling me where he's like the Hulk essentially, right?
Well, just look at the artwork. It's
Yeah.
100% the
But see,
Hulk.
I didn't think of it like that, mostly because I didn't see the art, but also when I read it, I thought of it as he was able to bring out a monster from another dimension and
I mean,
bring
if
it
it's
here.
like that, it's cool. But
That's because that's a little different, isn't it? Where it's like if you're just hulking out, that's like there's a lot of characters who do that. But if he's able
well,
to,
if you're hulking out like the Hulk, you are the Hulk.
yeah, if you're hulking out anything, you are the Hulk. But I'm just saying if he's able to bring out a monster that's in that he's off to the sides, he can control it like off to the side or whatever.
But
Like
then
that.
you're Kid Kaiju from Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, but that's too early. That's too like that's too green to go into
No,
it,
no,
sorry.
it's still a copy that came out first. It's a copy.
I guess so. I mean, people always say like when they go back to like, oh, this
Yeah.
came out a month before. Like,
I'm saying if people can say it with Marvel and every hero ever, I can say it with this.
I don't care. I don't know why people care.
I
but
know.
I know you don't care, but I don't know why
I'm
other
throwing
people
that
care.
out into the ether. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it to
you're
you.
right.
I'm throwing it out there.
No, you're right. Challengers looks like the one I'm not probably not gonna read.
Challenges to me, like just taking like obscure characters that no one cares about, is kind of like giving Full Killer and Solo a book.
Yeah,
So what?
Challengers is that one. That's that kind of like most random one, and
Yeah.
I guess
It's
it's a
like,
reboot of the old one.
it's like-
But it's Scott Snyder, you know, and I feel like he'll make a
So
good book
like,
out of it.
Scott Snyder's not the be all and end all.
I mean, he's a really good writer, though. He's up there. He's
look
like,
at All Star.
I'd say he's there with Charles Soule, in my opinion. So,
I mean, like, I'm not
yeah,
saying
you're right. Even with All Star, I hear it was a really great. But just people don't want to read that because it's not in continuity in a way.
I mean, there is that as well. But like, I'm not saying Scott Snyder's a bad writer, but he's overrated personally. Like, he's
I
not
don't think so.
that great. That's just me.
I just think the problem with All Star was that it's better as a trade than it is ongoing because it's a miniseries. So
That
and
made
which,
guys read Snyder on something that's not Batman. So
yeah, oh yeah, Snyder has yet to. Well, we did Superman Unchained, which was really great. See, I think if he
Sure, I never read that.
it was really great. A lot of people really love it. I think he just has to do something outside of Batman already. You know what I mean? I get he loves Batman, but that's the thing with. Are you good enough to do something out of your realm of comfort? You know, and that you know.
Like personally, Snyder's very dangerously close to becoming Dan Slott.
Yeah, staying on Spider-Man, and
yeah. It's kind of like, it's nice that he did, like, Snyder's done a run of Batman that people love and adore. Yeah. Get the fuck off of it. Leave Batman alone.
You know what they say though. You know what they say about the have to be the best you can be. You have to be on the outside of like what you're comfortable with and all that. So, I mean, if you see him do other characters, like maybe this one will be a really good book because it's not Batman. I want to see him do Green Arrow, Green Lantern, any other characters because, like you said, he's gonna be close to becoming a Dan Slott. If we have another year of him after Dark Knights or whatever. After that, if he does another Batman book, then he's probably Dan Slott already.
I'm just trying to think who I'd want Scott Snyder to write.
He has a very...
He's got a particular way of writing, like most people do.
He goes for that idealism, though, I think.
Yeah.
He goes for idealism, like, if I can remember correctly.
He's very good at just going like, right, A, B, C, D, E. That's my run. Because like his run was basically Batman event, Batman event, Batman event, Batman. There was like no downtime.
This is true. And then the other character.
Actually, no, fuck it. I want Scott Snyder on Nova. That book's dead at the minute. Let's get.
But
Snyder
he can't go over. He already signed a new lease with DC.
He can go. He can break it once it's done.
I mean,
exclusivity contracts aren't forever.
You know, I realized they don't really have the silencer here. Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, here's the silencer. It's a chick who's assassin.
It's the Punisher. It's 100% the Punisher.
Oh, but they already had a Punisher, don't they, basically?
Well, they got a new one now.
Oh, well, yeah. We'll see how this goes. I'm personally a little bit excited about this, worried that it won't sell enough to even go past 12 issues, but that's the risky run, well. I think.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like... It's got me interested, like mainly sideways because of Rocket Fall.
I just think this whole idea of their diversity push being new characters created is very interesting. You know?
Yeah, like I'll applaud them for like holding their hands up and going like, look, we need to kind of like start this ourselves. We're gonna do it this way. I'll be interested to see if they kind of understand why Marvel did it their way, because kind of like, oh, this doesn't work.
Or this could be one of those outliers in which it actually does work and somehow it sells. Who knows?
I mean, let's be honest. Like the first 2 to 3 issues are going to sell high.
Oh yeah, and then after it's going to go down.
Like, and if they're twice a week, if you look at the natural attrition of the other, like, look at Cyborg. Cyborg hovered at 20k for like a week, and then just went straight under. Like, I don't know. I just don't see it lasting. It's a shame because they could be interesting, but I don't see it lasting.
Let me see. Okay. Here, real quick before we move on to the next one. So, Damage, really quick, is only wanted to serve his country, but promises of becoming the ultimate weapon to leave the new recruit for living in nightmare. Of course, with the ability to unleash an unstoppable monster for 1 hour time, Ethan only wants to live out his life in peace. But if he can tame the monster, it's Hulk. If he can tame the monster inside, he might be able to do more good than. But we'll see. If it's written good, then people.
It's what would happen if Bruce Banner turned into Doomsday, because he looks like Doomsday.
Or if Captain America turned into the Hulk with that old serum instead of, or not Hulk, because what was it in the Incredible Hulk movie? They try to make what was his face?
Abomination.
Yeah, and with the Cap serum basically, and mix it up with Hulk.
It basically is that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's essentially that, like the guy, but he's gonna be a hero instead of a villain.
Yeah. Also, I'd just like to point out, cause I know Ramit is not going to listen to this, but fuck him. Like, saying you're not going to make a character for diversity when the DO has literally just said we're doing a diversity push automatically means you are making a diverse character for diversity's sake. I don't give a fuck what you say. I
mean, I'll just say it. He's the one who did a really bad job of Spider-Man, right? Like his art.
Or Ramit Jr.
Yeah. So,
Ramita Senior, right? That spot. Great.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll move on now to Solicitations.
I just want to shout out before Solicitations.
Go ahead.
Because they're like 3 people who care, but Christopher Priest and Phil Noto are going to be doing a 5-issue miniseries called Inhumans. I forgot the name of the fucking subtitle. Once in Future King, that's the one. Where it's going to be set like in the early days of the royal family. And it's going to be like Black Belt after Terror Genesis. Ooh. And I can't remember when it's coming, but it's coming. And it's just like, yay. But yeah.
All right. We'll move on now to Solicitations. As we'll start it off, I'll go first with Solicitations. And really, I just wanted to mention the Dark Days thing, because Dark Days Solicitation is out for Dark Days. The casting, it says the Joker's surprise attack threatens to lay waste to all of Batman's carefully laid plans. Will the Dark Knight be able to regain the trust of his closest allies, Green Lantern and Duke, and prevent the forces of darkness from consuming the DC universe? Will Hawkman's warning stop our heroes from peering into the abyss? That's a new one. I didn't think Hawkman would be in it. So,
well, didn't Hawkman die recently?
Yeah, probably.
It's the death of Hawkman, didn't it?
To be fair, he never dies. He always dies and comes back.
Yes.
So, this is interesting. Joker has something to do with this. He's going to lead an attack. And somehow it's going to lead into Dark Knights.
Hang on.
Huh.
Which Joker?
Yeah, that thing still needs to be talked about, because I wonder when they're actually going to mention it. Like, maybe they're saving the person.
Or is this going to mention it because you've got, what is it, Dark Knights, Dark Days, and Dark Matter?
Or is there 3 Jokers in between?
You have 3 Darks, so you can have 3 Jokers.
That's still one, though. The thing I'm most about Rebirth was the 2 people who died, Owlman and Metron, died on the moon, and yet nothing has been said about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing. I mean, to be fair, man, nobody knows they died. Everybody just assumes they lived on, but somebody could have checked. To be fair, they went to the moon. Batman has a cave in the moon, and Superman went to the moon, so you thought they would have remembered. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe they don't know where they went, so. But this is happening. Dark Days, the casting, number 1. Interesting. So with the Joker, I saw the picture of the Joker in there, but I wondered how he was going to be a part of it, and I guess he's just messing everything up, as he always does. So you go.
I do wonder if they're going to just completely
forget
bench that 3 Joker idea. It's like, oh, we didn't say that. Shush.
That to me sounds like it should be one of those like Long Halloween type-ish, where it's a miniseries where it'll be remembered in a way. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But I mean, it's in continuity. So you go ahead.
Secret Empire 6 of 9. There's not much to say. Apparently, this is the one where Thor comes in. They don't give anything away. They are proper hiding, like keeping this close to the chest. Ooh. But it's the unworthy, the untrusted, the unstoppable. This is their day. Beware the Secret Empire. So yeah, it's got unworthy Thor on the cover. So,
well, at least the real unworthy Thor.
Yeah, the actual, the one that looks unworthy. Yeah.
All right. I have Action Comics 983, 984, and the thing here is, like, it has the whole super family basically in it. Superman, Supergirl, Steel, New Superman.
It doesn't have Superboy Prime.
Everybody's gonna talk about that. Everybody's always like, "We're Superboy Prime. We're Superboy Prime." It's your fault that y'all thought he was coming back and y'all were hyped about it. It's y'all's fault.
But then it's not the full Superman family, is it?
I mean, it is because it's the only ones that matter right now.
We've even got the fucking arm of that Superwoman who's Red Superman or whatever the fuck. It doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have her powers. No, she doesn't have her powers right now. She's gonna get it back, probably. Like they always do. But I mean, he's never coming back. Actually,
Justice for Prime.
He might come back, but it's been a while. It's been almost a decade.
I'll say he's never gonna come back.
Like, well, maybe one of these days, maybe Jeff Johns hears what everybody thought. In 5 years, he'll make a series about it. But don't expect him anytime soon because it was just y'all's fault. Like, I don't know why. Like, you know what I mean? You just got you're to blame. All you people who said that Prime was gonna be here and why you're sad. It's your fault.
But Joe, you agreed with he was gonna come back.
See, I thought it was an interesting idea, but I'm not sad that he didn't.
Oh, of course.
I'm not sad that it's not him. You know what I mean? Because that's just, it wasn't him. Like, it was, I knew something like that was possibly going to happen. That everybody just hypes it up and it's like, it wasn't them. Because that's how a lot of times it happens. But
also, what if, like, Manhattan is Superboy Prime?
Doubt it. That will never like get out. Like that's that one. Like I'm trying to think. There was something I had when I saw a comment made about it, and I had like thought of an idea I was gonna say on here, but I forgot, so I probably won't. You know, I don't know. It's y'all's fault. You know, when they say the customer is always right, they're wrong. Customer can be wrong.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can. Well,
no, because the customer keeps the business alive. So if the customer's wrong, your business is dead.
Not true, because sometimes they'll come
no,
back. Like these guys who say they love.
It's 100% true. The customer is never wrong.
How come these people who are sad that Superboy Prime is there are still buying DC Comics?
Look, Joe, you're kind of misunderstanding completely.
I know. All right, you can go ahead with your next one.
Surprise, surprise. No one will see this coming. But Secret Empire 7.
Ooh.
It was foretold by Ulysses. It's haunted Spider-Man's nightmare for months, and now the moment has arrived. It's time for Miles Morales to kill Captain America, unless Natasha ellipses. Dot. So yeah, it's that one moment in Civil War 2 that's apparently justify the entire event's existence. Is like actually, it's not even a year. Actually, is it going to be a year? It probably will be a year after it. Actually. Finally going to be pulled into play. It's all going to be questioned. Not that he's going to kill him off, because, you know, it's issue 7 of 9. Got 2 more issues to go. And they're all 40 pages by the look of it. So they're pretty substantial. But yeah.
I have Deathstroke 21, which honestly, one of the ones people should talk about more. I feel like they do, but I just don't hear it as much as like the other ones. But I feel like there's people talking about it because this has just been a really good series, and now it's taking an interesting turn where Deathstroke is gonna have his own future foundation, basically, and he's gonna have this group of superheroes now. He's gonna be a superhero now. He even has a cape, and he's gonna wear black and white. And Kid Flash is there, Power Girl's there, his son. I mean, not his son, but who else? Tara's there, which is like, I guess.
Yeah, that's strange.
I never would have expected her to be there, but
well, synergy, because it was in a movie.
You're right.
Even though it was an animated movie.
They've shown Deathstroke from time to time have some heroic moments, if I remember correctly, but you know, he's always been an anti-hero technically.
But is this him going to be a hero?
Yeah, he's changed. Apparently, he's aimed at taking a better life. Because he shoots guns. But that's the question. Like, but has Slade truly shed his villainous past, and what other shadowy forces are working against him? Now, the reason for his turn is because after being in the Speed Force, he's come out a changed man, and that's kind of like going to heaven. And you know, after coming back, you're like, damn, everything's like I have a new perspective. So
he's reformed. Yeah,
essentially, and he's gonna get speed powers, and then they're gonna get rid of it, and then he's gonna be like, you know what? I think I should stop being a villain, because his thing why he's fighting the Titans is because he's trying to save his son that died, and then he realizes probably like, okay, maybe that was just a bad idea. Like, you know, maybe I should try being a hero now. Like, I know what it means to be good now, and this is interesting. Like him having his own super family in a way, or him having his own team that are being heroes. And
now I know this might sound a bit hypocritical coming from me, because I do really like what Bendis is doing with Infamous Iron Man, but this sounds fucking lame.
Really?
To be honest, yeah.
Really fucking him change. What, does Doom have a team now?
He's going to be buying out the Avengers, I think.
Oh gosh! But you probably already see what they look like.
I am a good guy.
I sent you a link, but you probably already know what they look like. But,
is this the Future Foundation copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Wally has that little edge on the lightning on his hair. I think that's cool. Doesn't have to factor Kid Flash, Wally, but right? Because it's like, wait, Wally, you have that thing on your hair, but so does Kid Flash.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
But that's the same thing. It's like, wait, Oliver, you have a goatee. But so does Green Arrow, the same one.
I'm a fan. No,
but I could see the similarities. Doom, Deathstroke going heroish, but I think they took it to another level with this one. And it's mostly because the heroes here are what they've kind of been building up with. Like, he's met Power Girl already. You know, they've been building up these heroes that he's met already.
Mm.
So
I just feel like the reason for I went into the Speed Force and came out reformed is a bit contrived.
I mean, that's the whole thing of
Bit
like movies that go like, oh, I died, I almost died, or I died and I went to heaven and I got reborn somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're not good movies.
This is true. I'm sure there's other kind of like, I mean,
I'm admittedly sure like
Iron
Doom's
Man
idea.
in the movies, like that's his hell. Basically, he's gonna be a changed man. So,
I mean, I suppose you put it that way.
Technically,
I don't know. It just sounds lame. It's like
it's
I'm
a
gonna be a
basic
good guy.
concept. I'd say so, but I think the interesting part is what he's doing with it and creating this kind of new foundation, I guess, with all these heroes and having their suits. And he has a cape now, which I don't know why he needs a cape. He doesn't have superpowers.
It's so when he runs, it can flap behind him.
I guess so. He looks pretty dope.
He look majestic as fuck.
I think their symbol is just funny. Like, it looks like the image symbol, and it's 7 on them.
It really does.
Alright, you can go ahead.
Secret Empire again, but Brave New World 3 or 5. We're actually going to get Starbrand, and like very obscure character, which has been completely forgotten about since his series was cancelled like a year ago.
I feel like I heard of him.
Well, Starbrand's always been around in Marvel, but he's a very obscure one. It's like he's the planetary defense system. Sort of.
Okay.
Like you get the white event or the last white event, and then someone gets powers of the Starbrand. And he hasn't been seen for ages, and that's pretty huge considering what happened in Secret Empire. The fact that he is still around.
Okay.
And like, if he is actually under the shield, shit's gonna get fucked. He's apparently going to wrestle with the weight of his destiny. Meanwhile, on Earth, I take it back, he's not on Earth. The citizens of New York find themselves trapped and a traitor in Atlantis could bring an end to Namor's truce with Hydra. So, spoilers: Namor has a truce with Hydra, because why wouldn't he? His name. Starring J. Jonah Jameson, Starbrand, and the Avengers.
I don't know. It's that lineup.
There's a lot of interesting things are being done with Secret Empire. This is kind of like, oh, it's not the normal, yay. This is kind of...
My next one, Superman 2627. See, apparently, I mean, after reading which I'm going to talk about, the recent Superman issue, a lot of stuff they've been building up since the first issue does come back and everything. I do like the storytelling they were doing in this recent one, but this one apparently is going on a vacation. This seems like one of those, the one where they went to the fair that I think I'm just going to love, where it's like Superman as a dad. And it's like, I think it's going to be one of those one issues that I feel like I'm going to love, like them going on a vacation. Like that, I don't know. That just seems like out of the ordinary that I feel like is going to actually be really good. Because it's going to put him in this situation where it's like, there's nobody to save or whatever. It's just them on vacation, And then apparently, there actually might be something to it. And you can bet they're going to need a vacation after the vacation because there's something out there. There's a threat out there as they try to take a road trip, which I can imagine Superman on a road trip.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the guy who's saying, let's play I Spy. Like, I spy something green. It's like grass.
Like, yes.
Okay, Clark. It seems alright. Like, I mean, we'll talk about it later of how, like, it sucks that, it feels like all the other Superman writers are kind of hinged something on what these Superman writers do.
I don't even know what you were trying to say.
Like hinged, like it's hinged.
But you were like clean.
I'm trying to think of a word, but it's like all the other Superman titles.
They're kind of like they're shackled to what Tomasi.
Yeah, hinged is another one where they're hinged onto what happened.
Yeah, that's what's hinged.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they can't tell their own story.
To be fair, it is the better one. So.
Yeah, but is it the better one because they're being hinged to it and they can't
do
it? Or is it just the better one?
That's a good argument. It's hard to tell because you can't really tell unless you get them off the shackles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's just let these writers run free.
I'll mention it later, though. So yeah.
But how many more?
You got one more?
Got two.
Oh, two more. Yeah, two more.
Have I got two more? Because I've done
I don't know.
three.
You can mention them all at the same time so we can get over
Right.
with.
Well, how many are you doing? How many
One.
more you got one more.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got two more then. Right. Sam Wilson, 24. He is picking back up the shield and becoming Captain America again. So that doesn't last long. Ooh. No more. I can't even read that word. I'm not even going to try. No, I've never seen that word before in my life.
Where is it? I want to know.
No, it's like Prev. I don't know. I'll put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. I want to know. Maybe I can say it right. Me, the guy who says every word right. Yeah. So, as we are learning the type of word that makes this, they say podcasts don't give education. I beg to differ. We're giving education right now. We give education every week. It might not be good education, but it's education.
I actually had to really look if I was spelling that right.
It just sounds like prevaricating.
See, I don't even know where to fucking start. I'm like
prevaricating. I'm a Google guy. You keep going.
I've never seen that word in my life, and I've had not a long life.
It means to speak or act in an evasive way.
Fair. That makes sense.
Prevaricate. That's how you say it. Prevaricate.
No more of that. No more hesitation. Sam Wilson is back in harness as Captain America to lead the fight against the ultimate foe.
Finally, I was glad he was coming back. What if he just ditched it and was like, let Hydra take over?
I mean, like you kind of knew he wasn't going to be back because the way Spencer's written his entire arc, he's had his little moment and then he's just been dragged through the mud, like backwards and butt naked. Like he has got mud up his butthole, and now he's gotten to that heroic low moment where he's just given up. So now he can rise again like a fiery falcon. And not the new Patriot because he's not new Patriot.
Oh, he's the new Patriot.
No, he's not.
Oh. No, I mean the other one.
The new Patriot's some kid.
Never mind. Alright. My last one, the ones we both like, Super Stunts. John is going to join the Teen Titans.
Yeah. But he's on a team. He's too young.
He's like 10 or something. He's 11. He's apparently going to join the Teen Titans, and I love the cover of, like, he just breaks the door, and all the other Teen Titans are like, what is happening? And Damien's just, like, thumbs backwards, like, yeah, this is the guy who's joining us. Apparently there's something to it because there's something sinister might be at work, and what are the real motives Damien's doing it, but interesting, that is doing it. Like the kids, they're all, I would assume they're teens, all of them, because they're in
they're at least 13 to 19.
Yeah, at least. So John is the youngest one. He's probably the most. No, is he the most powerful? Maybe. No, Starfire maybe, or Raven.
I suppose Starfire. Yeah.
Starfire or Raven might be. I can't. Or I mean, technically, Kid Flash could be. He has the Speed Force.
True.
It's hard to tell, really. Let's put him in a.
Well, I suppose you can't really say like.
But that's their potential, I guess. Who's actually strong now? Because Wally doesn't really. He can't do too much. He doesn't know how to actually use the Speed Force.
No, John hasn't really. He can't even fly, so he's not anywhere near the strongest.
Hopefully, he gains new powers. Is all I'm saying. I want him to gain new powers. I know we said that last week. Hopefully, he does.
Yeah, he will eventually.
Hopefully, he does.
Hopefully,
that's all I got.
My last one is Captain America: Steel Rogers number 19, and he wins. He's won. He's won over the heart of the people, which I don't know how. It's kind of like, why would anyone? He must have done something to like proper twist this around. But I wonder if this issue will make people like the idea of Hydra Captain America more. It's kind of like, look at me, I'm actually a good guy. Everyone else is wrong. Fuck you.
I was having a conversation earlier with my friend at school, and it's like, we love this. We love what they're doing with Steve Rogers' Cap, and the whole idea of like they never won. Yeah. That's awesome. Like I mean, like we said before, we've only really read the comics that are in our lifetime. We don't. There's 70 something years of it, 70 plus. So it's like we can't read every single one, but. From my recollection, I don't think there's really been something like this in which it gets points.
In Marvel, there has never been anything like this. There's been what-ifs that might be close, but nothing in the main continuity. This is the first.
I know...
In comics, the closest thing might be the Tower of Babel. But this is kind of like the Tower of Babel if Batman was the villain. Like, Batman wasn't really the villain of the Tower of Babel.
Yeah. The thing I will say, though, is that so there's some people who say that, just because it's different doesn't mean it's good. Yeah. But
that's true.
Yeah, but it's good and it's also different, which means it's
Yeah.
extra good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
No, like you look at Superman Red Sun, it's exactly the same as that, but it's in continuity. If this was like a what if like
I
that,
wish.
people would love this.
Yeah, but it's the
But
fact that it's in continuity.
yeah, now, the thing is though, it might not even be that because a lot of the people that are complaining about it don't. They say things. It's kind of like you're clearly not even reading it
Which is sad.
because like
We should try not to listen to them. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of like he's a Nazi. It's like no, he's not.
Hydra hasn't
Like,
really been Nazis for a long time.
Hydra has never been Nazi.
Okay, technically, yeah.
The Red Skull
Was even a
was
Nazi.
a Nazi.
He just kind of the Red Skull was a Nazi.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a Nazi, but
He kind of used the Nazis in a way.
Yeah, he did that. He took over Hydra at that point.
It's not like he was like all for what Hitler was doing, but he wanted his own thing. But he was all like,
Yeah.
like I can't do it on my own, so I'll just ride the coattails of the Nazis.
Yeah, like admittedly, Hydra was doing that anyway. Like they were always gonna do that, like, but they were never agreeing with what Hitler was doing, and that's always been the case.
Yeah.
Like it isn't just the case now with Spencer. That's always been the case. Like people just don't know that. And you tell them, they just don't listen. It's kind of all right.
You know what though? I say, we had New 52, DC. You had Secret Wars, Marvel. I think Secret Empire and Rebirth are probably going to be looked back as one of the milestones in comics for these two, at least the big two, if anything. But
I think this will be looked back on as like probably the best Captain America run.
And I think Rebirth will be like, that was a good idea. I personally think that. And even though we haven't gotten too much of Watchmen, I know we haven't gotten too much of it yet.
I don't know with Rebirth because like it's, I don't know.
Because looking back at it, people are gonna be like, "Wow, it looked like they really messed up with New 52."
Yeah, but a lot of people have dropped off of Rebirth.
I mean,
So
people have dropped off of Secret Empire. You know what I mean?
It's only just started, but I'm saying like for something to be remembered like that, like you don't really need the sales, but like
it has to be something like crazy, like
a lot of people dropping off, and a lot quicker than normal. Admittedly, yes, they're putting them out a lot quicker than normal. It's kind of like, are people really digging Rebirth as much as you think?
I guess, in my sense,
is what I'm trying to say.
When an actual Watchmen character appears in this, I think that'll be like oh wow, you remember when the comedian showed up fight Batman?
Referring to that moment, I'll agree that moment will probably go down.
We're almost there. I think the difference is between both of them is that Rebirth had more of not a head start, but it's having a longer what's the word I'm looking for? It's having a longer build up period as opposed to Secret Empire. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Well, there was no build up for Rebirth. It just happened.
No, but I mean I'm saying like the Watchmen thing, like they're building up from the start of Rebirth.
I suppose, yeah.
And whatever you're gonna call Watchmen, it could be Crisis on not Infinite Crisis, but Ultimate Crisis or Secret Crisis, whatever it is. I think at that point when you see like that, because when people look back at 20 years, like, yo, you remember that one time like Cap was, he was the leader of Hydra and he tried to take over the world. Like, I think that'll be looked back as one of, like, a great run for Cap. And I think whenever the Watchmen character appears, like, you remember that one time Dr. Manhattan appeared in the DC universe? Like, I think that'll be looked back, too, as one of those. But it has to be at that moment, too.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be, because this is cool, all the stuff we're getting, but no Watchmen character has been seen, literally seen. We've been hinted at, teased, but none of them have been seen standing in this universe yet. So until that happens, I think it'll go to the point I was saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you made a great point by bringing that up. Because then I would have just been going on how just like the Rebirth stuff. But then Rebirth, whatever they call it next. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. With that, move on to the comics of the week. I say we go through these other comics we have a little bit fast so we can get to mainly talking about Secret Empire in the button, I say.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to spend long on this.
All right. So, comics of the week. What is it? April 19th, 2017. Let's get it started, Rich.
Close to Guardians of the Galaxy, the volume 2.
It's true. So I went first, or did you want to go first? Because I went first.
You can go first. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start it off. I'll mention Trinity 21. Trinity 8. Essentially a filler, but it's a tie-in to Reborn. Superman Reborn, and it's a very emotional tie-in, I would say, because you have Superman, who's this Superman that is now who merged or whatever. He's having dreams of pre-New 52 Superman and New 52 Superman fighting each other, and that's kind of like him remembering what, because you know what they say, you never really lose anything in these alternate realities or things that get changed in, because like you said, there's like 7 of those realities that are out there in Marvel. Yeah. So nothing, they never really get lost. They're just something just gets put on top of it. So that's why he's having like little leaked memories, and then they talk about there's someone out there and all that, and essentially it's a little bit of filler of Batman and Wonder Woman learning about this, of who's out there, because they didn't really know, and they're not going to tell Justice League. But the emotional part, I would say, is just that New 52 Superman was talking, and so was pre-52 Superman, and they were like, who's actually real? No, I'm real, and they're fighting each other like, I had actual lives and everything, and it's just like, it's kind of sad, you know, that these two characters got merged, and technically they're not gone. They're gone, but they're never. I don't think anybody's ever really gone. They're just put away, and you know, their lives are just being rewritten and they had actual lives. You know what I mean? And I keep seeing comments about how people feel bad for New 52 because he had his own life and all that, and he did this and that, and they're just favoring the older one. And I get it. You know, some people like. It's like it's like 2 kids, but you're favoring the oldest one. I get it. So, you know, it was just a little sad thing, but it was a good issue. You know, Trinity has been good. I've been saying I think this is better than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Those 2 kind of team up issues. I think Trinity was always a thing that should be there because it's the Trinity. So yeah, that's a good issue. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just trying to think if I do these in one go.
You could, Royals 1 and 2. Just do.
Well, how many should you do quickly?
Just do it, and then it's okay. Like,
no, I'm trying to think. It's like if I do these 2, it's like
I'll do my next one, and then you do yours, and I'll do mine.
I suppose I should do these in We do it 3 technically, aren't we?
Okay, yeah.
No, 4 because the button ends. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just confused myself there.
All right, just go.
But I'm certain I didn't talk about it before, but Royals, the new Inhuman book by Al Ewing, and John Boy Myers, because fuck Teen Titans, whatever he was on before.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. But I mean, I don't feel bad for him now. He's on a really good book now, so
he's doing a fucking good job in this book as well.
There you go.
But like straight away, first issue, they open on a hook like 5,000 years in the future, and it's just kind of like you see a really old Black Bolt, and Ewing he makes a lot of Inhuman pulls here. Like it's kind of like they're old. Like these aren't like characters in their 40s. Like these characters are like hundreds, thousands of years old. And like he looks like Mr. Ross. I'm just gonna say now. Black Bolt is Mr. Ross confirmed. And like you go into this weird place, and like the Inhumans are like he's the last one. And I think if there's more, they're on like strange Matrix pods on the side. And then he just drops it, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. But you then kind of catch up with like what everyone's doing, where they are at the minute. Is like they're fighting around with the possibly the last new Inhuman, because Medusa destroyed the Terrigen Mist. But then like they jump into the whole like Marvel Boy is giving them this secret. Like there's this thing on Hala, the Kree home world, that could like be the key to Terrigenesis and what Terrigenesis actually is. So like they kind of gather the team up and actually bring back Luna. It's only a panel, but Crystal's daughter is still a thing. She's still out there. Okay. And so they kind of like go on a trip, and then like there's a plot twist in the second issue that actually, if you look back at it,
do you want to mention it?
Well, I was going to mention it when I get to it, but it's just kind of like looking back at it now, it's like I'm a fucking idiot. But the plot twist in this issue is that Medusa's hair is falling out. And it's falling out because she's dying. And he doesn't waste any time, because literally the next issue we find out she's dying because she's dying by a metaphor. Is the best way to put it. And that's how they put it. And it's literally the Terrigen in her blood is now like rejecting her body, like how like an old transplant rejects the body like that. And it's doing it because she's the one that killed the Cloud. So the mutants can go fuck themselves. They killed Medusa.
No, because Terrigen gave her powers, and I was gonna say because like Superman died with kryptonite poisoning, but he needed to use that kryptonite to get powers to save the world or whatever would happen. So
it's kind of like that because she's not gonna die, obviously.
She's not gonna die.
Like,
I thought she would have.
Well, no, because they're obviously going to get to Hala. They're obviously going to get the secret to what Terrigen is. They're obviously going to do something new, and she's going to have like a secondary Terrigenesis that's going to make her better and more like what the show's going to be like. So it's going to be like her hair's going to be short. She can like just grow her hair out. But the big plot twist in the second one, because the second one really is they've met with the Chitauri wave in the solar system. It's kind of like, this is really fucking big. And like Medusa gets Flint to pull fucking Pluto out of its orbit, whack a couple of Chitauri out of the way so they can get past. And it's just kind of like, you're just going to leave a floating ice rock that size just out of orbit. It's like, you've just destroyed everything. well done. But it turns out that that Black Bolt actually isn't Black Bolt. It is Maximus. Damn. And it's like, if you go back to Inhumans Prime, where she's putting Maximus on trial, she's like, why aren't you, like, you don't have anything to say. It's kind of like, should have got it right there and then, that obviously Maximus there is Black Bolt, and that's why his series that's coming out is Black Bolt in prison. And it's just kind of like, fuck. I feel really stupid.
So Maximus, when he was in that cell.
Yeah, when you saw Maximus in Inhumans Prime.
Yeah, and then he said something, I know the secret or whatever.
And after that bit where like Medusa's giving that speech.
Yeah.
And he's behind her, and like he's all like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Like his face is covered, his hands are covered. That's Black Bolt. That has to be Black Bolt right there. Because they then send him off to a space prison. So that's where Black Bolt is now. And obviously
makes sense.
It's just kind of like, I should have seen that coming.
So Black Bolt, his solo series is just gonna be him, and then Maximus. So when we read like all the other Inhuman series, it's
Black Bolt in his solo series is going to be him with like Crusher Krill. There's going to be Death's Head in there.
No, but I'm saying like, so no, Maximus is not gonna be in there because technically Maximus is gonna be. And the other one's as Black Bolt. He's still going to be just...
he's not going to be as Black Bolt there now, because they know he's not Black Bolt.
Oh, okay.
It's like, she calls him out. It's like, no, you've been acting strange. You're not Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, haha. Yeah. It's a very, like, contained issue, the second one, where it's just kind of like, it's just unfolding things from the first one. It goes a bit more into the future stuff, but I can't remember what they did in the future stuff. Oh, there was something. It's like, there was a warning system to make you remember that you can die. It's just kind of like, what? What's going on? I need to know now. Oh yeah, it's a really fucking good. Like the first two issues are really fucking good. You know, like if you don't want Inhumans to be mutants, then they're definitely not mutants in this. Yeah. That's technically my first one.
Oh, was that both right?
Yeah.
All right. I had Superman 21. I'm loving Damian and John, just the dynamic duo of both of them. Honestly, it started with it started before Super Sons. It was like a prelude to Super Sons, but I'm gonna be sad when I don't see these two anymore hanging out and just doing a bunch of stuff. And it's because like the neighbors come over and they're like, Damian, you need a secret name. They can't know you're Damian Wayne. It's like, oh, that's my friend Garth. It's like, and he's also wearing John's like pajamas or hand-me-down clothes and like the short, like, because because he's older and all that, and like the clothes are too like small and all that. It's just like it's funny. It's there's a good humor to it, and but the interesting part about this issue was just that the main thing, and now I know from the Solicitations when they mention like John is gonna put something to test that Superman never thought would happen, and that is the possibility of using force when you don't need to. And Superman's always been a guy that's like, if I don't need to, I don't need to use it. You know what I mean? It's just because you have the power to do it doesn't mean you have to. And there's this one moment where they're fighting this squid alien, and it's attacking a fair, and people are getting injured and stuff like that. And Superman's fighting it, but without having to use his heat vision to kill it or to actually do any of that. And then John, out of like fear and kind of impulse, and also peer pressure, because the cops were around him, were like, Superboy, you need to use your heat vision now. I was like, dang, peer pressure. But he uses his heat vision on it and very damages it. And it's like the squid has feelings and all that. And Superman like is one of those people that, you know, animals have feelings too. And he was going to wait to call Aquaman to come help it and to find its way back. But after John did that and kind of used his powers when he didn't need to and kind of damaged a living being or like a living creature, Superman's like, what did you just do? You know, you're not supposed to use your powers if you don't have to. And then they have this whole thing of like, Superman telling him one of these days they're going to be put in impossible situations, yada, yada. Like, you know, like the dad-son talk that I honestly love. And it's like, whatever you decide to do will change not only yourself, but the people around you. And I thought it was a really great talk, the dialogue they had there. But the funny thing was, after they had that, Damian's like, yada, yada, can we just go find my dad? Like, Batman's out there somewhere kidnapped. We need to go find him. So, it's cool. And then they have this moment where, like, they go out on their own to try to find Batman. And another favorite part, which I think you'll enjoy, is, like, John, after getting the talk from his dad, is like, look, Damon, I can't keep doing this. You keep telling me to do all this with my powers and go out at night and stuff like that. I can't keep doing it. And Damon's like, yeah, we already know I'm the bad influence on you. All right, so get on and we're going to go find my dad. And it's just like, I love that. Like, you know, Damon's like, look, man, it's not that bad. Let's go do this. You know, if it ever got that bad, I'm sure Damian would be like a bro and be like, don't do it. But, you know, it's not that bad yet. So there's that father-son thing, which also counts because they're, you know, Damian, Bruce, John, Clark, but that's something they've really been perfect in this series. You know, the one where they went to the fair, and any other time they had father-son moments, that's like the most perfect it's ever been. Even if they've had some like collapses in their stories where like, some people didn't like Mr. Piddly and then this and that. I think what they've always hit right was the emotional aspect of it, of father and son between both of them, because this is something new, you know? Even though Superboy, the older one, was technically a son, he never really was a biological son. So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess technically he was a biological son because Lex created him out of his and Clark's DNA, but he didn't come out of Lois's womb. So
two daddies.
I just really love this issue, and I mean, I can't wait for that vacation part. But yeah, that's really all I got. And oh wait, I wanted to mention this, that I read Superwoman, right? And you know, we talked about before, and people mentioned that kind of Superwoman, the writer comes out and is like, oh yeah, you know, we're kind of tied down with what happened with the changes, that there's a new Superman, like yeah, all this, and it sucks. But at the same time, you know, I told you before, like, if only I wasn't cheated out of Superwoman, maybe I would have read it more. And you could have made Lois the red Superman. You could have made Lana the Superwoman, or the Superwoman with the actual Superman kind of look. But no, he decided, no, I'm going to make Lois that, knowing full well that she was going to have to die because Reborn had to happen. So I kind of blame him too. It's like, because I'm cheated out. I was told that this was going to be Superwoman, right? About, like, you know, the one on the cover that was flying with the jets, has the S on her chest and it's blue and all that. But it's just red Superman Lana. And she doesn't even have her powers right now. So it's, you know, what?
I mean, it's same for, like, is it more his fault or is it more the editors?
I'd say it's both their faults.
Because, like, you know, they're the ones that, or the editorial is the one that's kind of like, no, you got to do this.
I mean, maybe he wanted to do it that way, and it's like, you could, because I'm sure they said, oh, Lois is gonna have to die because Reborn's coming up. But I'm sure he could have been like, what if we switched them, you know? But I don't think he did.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like, if Jeff Johns is truly overseeing all of this and making sure everything's right, editorial fucked up there.
But I also think, like, I don't think that was a necessity for it. I don't think anything that happened in issue 1 about Lois being the one with the blue and yellow
Yeah, but
and
it
red.
kind of like it doesn't matter. Like editorials still let that book go out.
Look,
It's definitely.
I'll be honest, this is true, but it's also an artist thing because you literally could have changed how they looked on the art standpoint. I think everything would have been the same. The series would have been the same. So, I mean, it's
still editorial.
I guess it's just one of those things. I get it. He's probably was shackled, and that's what you get for signing up with these big companies and stuff like that. Look at Josh Trank; he was shackled. So
He was also high up his tits.
This is true. I'm just saying, like, know what you're getting yourself into. And
have a good editorial stuff.
I mean, it could be him too. It's hard to tell here.
It's a combination of everyone.
I'm just gonna say everybody messed up.
It should have been done better.
I'm just gonna say everybody messed up on this on Superwoman. I think it's a missed opportunity, and it could always be saved later on. But I just think it was a missed opportunity for these first 7 issues, and then the 8th one was okay. It was a pretty nice moment between Clark and Lana, but other than that, I felt like they messed up. But yeah, you can go
ahead. Steve Rogers, issue 16. It's just the opening salvo. It's the only opening salvo you kind of really need to read. The other two don't really change anything, apart from a couple of bits. But he throws a lot of stuff at you in this.
Ooh.
Like a lot of stuff. Like there's Maria Hill finding out that he's Hydra agent and then getting chased down by Hydra agents.
Isn't this the flashback stuff?
Not all of it.
Okay.
That's part of it. I was going to get to it eventually.
My bad. I just remember you saying that.
Like, there's Kobik stuff and catching up that she was destroyed in Thunderbolt. So, like, the Cosmic Cube piece has been scattered again. And Zemo wants the pieces. And there's the Tinkerer and Selvig trying to put it together. Selvig betrays them and kind of, like, kills himself. Because he wants Kobik to live. He doesn't want the Cosmic Cube to be a thing. Yeah. So that's going to play into a plot point down the line. There's Zemo seemingly killing Bucky. Cause even though I thought last week that Kobik did it, she didn't. But it's the same. It's basically the same panels because like Zemo recreates the missile hangar that was in the Thunderbolts issue. So it's just like, oh, this is the same thing. But he apparently dies. We don't know. We just see the explosion. I still think he's the Kraken. He might not be, but I still think he might be the Kraken. We find out Steve's mother's still alive in the past. Like Liza, the Madam Hydra, wasn't lying to him. She was actually fine. She never was killed. And that kind of like plays into her hands because Steve now trusts me. It's kind of like, oh, I'm now yours. Like I will do what you say forever. What else is there? But yeah, there's also the Hydra Council flashback, where it goes into more like mysticism part of Hydra, and that like they have this massive like viewing pool, and they can see into the future, and they know that the Allies are going to use this cosmic cube to change like the war. So instead of Hydra winning the war, they're going to win the war. And it's basically their way of putting Steve on ice. Because what I gather from this is for the real Steve, which is the Hydra Steve, it was instantaneous. Like he stepped into
the pool.
That the transition. Like he Kraken tells him to go into the pool, and that he's got to kind of like keep himself, and then he'll wake up in this strange land with memories of things he didn't do. But he's got to keep the dream alive.
Oh, so you thought it was like instant? What do you think?
It is instantaneous. Like he goes into the pool, and then like think of how like Logan, the Days of the Past, where he time travels, and it's like for him it's instant.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant of how they portrayed of how it was happening. Because in Secret Empire, it kind of seems like it was having that magical moment where like the blue light was coming over them or whatever, and they were disappearing. Like.
We'll get to that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. Oh, do you hear that?
What?
The bass on this car that's coming down my neighborhood?
Nope.
Oh, it was loud. I felt it in my heart.
in my heart. But yeah, like he goes into this pool, and I assume when he kind of like just instantly wakes up in the Steve we know in that body, and kind of like he meets back up with Eliza, and Eliza's like, "Here's your new Council of Hydra." Is that everything?
Yeah, because I'm just gonna talk about the button, and it's not gonna take too long because Secret Empire is bigger and it'll take longer.
Yeah. I was just making sure if I got everything in Steve. Yeah, that's basically everything important. I mean, he kicks off like the three things, but we can go into that in Secret Empire.
Yeah, so we'll go into Secret Empire in a bit, but really quick, the button, you read it. I told you were like, why do I need to read it? And then you read it, you're like, wow. This is
I wasn't gonna read it because kind of like it's just a mini crossover. Like I'll just hear it from you what happens. But I thought, fuck it, I'll read it.
You Reverse Flash coming back and beating up on Batman, and it all took place in like a minute, essentially.
Well, it was longer than a minute because you had the hockey game.
Okay, true. And it was like overtime. I love that actually. That it had the hockey scene, right? And then it had Batman flipping around at the button, and then it goes.
I assume something's not right in the DC universe apart from this whole Rebirth stuff.
What do you mean?
Because the way the announcers were talking, it's kind of like he shouldn't be doing that. He's actually killing that guy. Like,
oh no, that's just sports. You can't be doing that.
I know, but it seemed like a subtle hint at something bigger. Because it was very much a focus at the start.
Oh, in the beginning, Saturn Girl's like, and this is the moment he dies. And this is where everything changes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's Saturn Girl. She's from the Legion. She's from the future.
I guess that what I'm saying, like the hockey game, like something. It just seemed like
different.
There's something bigger to come from that.
Their dialogue.
I'm not saying the dialogue. I mean, just like the action. It kind of like it just seemed like something might not be right. But I could be looking too much into it.
I feel like you are. I thought you meant the dialogue. But I like that the hockey game kind of mirrored what happened with Reverse Flash and Batman, and it's like overtime, because they had overtime in the hockey game.
I suppose actually, it was mirroring.
I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, Tom King, that is an amazing idea. Like that it mirrored the fight with the fight in the ring and like in hockey, and I thought that was cool because then it's like I only need 11 seconds more, and it's overtime, and then they keep fighting and whatever, and then he eventually gets beat down.
He needed more than 11 seconds because Flash was late.
Yeah, he's over. Yeah, and that's why that's why he made the joke of like, because Batman made the joke of, oh, Flash, you're never early or whatever because he's usually late because he's so fast. He thinks like, it's okay, I have time, and he's doing all this other stuff, and he's still late. But I think we found out that there was nothing on the screens. It was actually the button.
Yeah, that was kind of lame. It's just like, why?
You thought there was going to be something extra, right?
It doesn't make sense. Why does he have the screens full of this button?
To me...
Which is also in the Arkham Asylum, if you notice that.
Was it?
Yeah, when Saturn Girl was doing her thing, like behind her is a poster saying that Arkham is healing, and it's a giant smile face.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I see you.
I thought this was a pretty good issue for what it's starting off with. Hopefully it ends well. Hopefully it ends.
It was a decent issue, but it's I don't know. I felt like I'd already read it. I don't know if it's because I'd just seen it floating about everywhere, and I've seen people talk about it. I was kind of like, I've read all this.
The thing I didn't notice at first was people saying, "Oh, it starts off just like Watchmen." I was like, "What? I don't remember this Watchmen." And then I went to go reread the first issue of Watchmen. I was like, "Oh, now I get it. It's because it goes from different panel to panel of like, okay, so there's the hockey scene, and then there's him messing with the bunny, right? And then in Watchmen, there's like what happened, how that guy got murdered, and then there's I think if I remember something with the bunny."
It's not the first time artists have done that in Rebirth. They did it with The Question, didn't they? Or was it Red Hood? What was
Red
it?
Hood, probably. How I think something is like similar to Watchmen.
Yeah,
and it was Red Hood where
it copied Rorschach.
Yeah, and the pins or whatever, how he looked in the dialogue. Yeah, I mean, we know. I think, are we gonna look back? Was their biggest mistake telling us or hinting, like kind of basically telling us Watchmen is coming? Was that one of their biggest mistakes? Well, should have they just held on to that and not have? Well,
no, because from the minute Rebirth was a thing, you knew Watchmen was going to come.
No, that's what I'm saying. Was their biggest mistake telling us like the whole like Watchmen thing, like on the Mars and everything, like and hit with the button? Was that?
I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was the hook people needed.
Okay.
Really?
Because
the biggest mistake is how long it's taken to actually do something.
You're right on that. That's kind of true too. But with this one, you have Reverse Flash and him talking about he's from Flashpoint. Is like, how did he even come back? And I think the major point is where he said he saw God and then he died. And
well, yeah, he's obviously talking about Manhattan.
yeah, obviously that's what I assumed too. But I thought it was just really sad that he took that letter that Thomas Wayne wrote from a different universe and just ripped it apart. I was like, savage.
That was so bad.
Savage Reverse Flash.
I was like, why? I suppose I get why he did it, but it's just like,
oh, did you not remember why he did it?
Well, no, I know why he did it, but when I read it, I was like, why? Why would you do that? That's so bad.
Yeah, he's so mean. I was like, what is up with that? But he got it, and it's just like, I think it was like you said, decent to good start, and it has me a little bit hooked. I was like, okay, he saw God, so hopefully, I mean, this might be going too much, but this might be the start of we see one of the Watchmen characters appear in the DC thing.
We have to see. If they don't show something,
it has to be something to that level, I think.
Yeah. To keep people interested, and the fact that it's been like a year since the Rebirth issue, they have to do something.
I don't think you're going to see Manhattan anyways.
Yeah. Because otherwise, people are going to lose interest.
Yeah, and I told you, this will probably be my last straw. If they don't have something to that extent, I feel like I'm gonna be very disappointed with that. And then, look, I'll still be good with the series they have because they're just generally good issues that they're having. But it's like you're building up to all this, you're not really doing anything yet. So we'll see what happens there. But it was only a basic 20-page issue, so there's not too much to talk about it. Other than I just really liked how they start, and then I was glad that they used Psycho Pirate's mask. I was like, thankfully. Somebody used it.
As I said, Tom King does things for a reason.
Yeah, and it's just interesting. So yeah, we'll go into Secret Empire now and really talking about this. I remember, I wish this was 80 pages so we could have had one episode like when we did DC Rebirth.
I don't wish this was 80 pages. That'd been way too much.
Really?
I read this and I was like, oh my god, like, stop.
Oh, I really liked that.
Like, not in a bad way, but I was just kind of like,
so we'll go down talking about every single kind of like detail of, like, okay, so it starts off and it's like how Steve Rogers ended, where he's going into that he's with Kraken.
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kragen, but I was like, that's.
I actually got it confused. Like, Steve Rogers actually only touches upon this. This elaborates on that part a bit more. But like, I literally read them back to back, so kind of like figured.
When they do that moment of like, are you gonna get into the pool so you can remember everything? They started like glowing, and I was like, is it taking this long to reset reality or whatever?
No, it's kind of like,
I think it's just a good visual representation.
Yeah, right? It's like he's done like it's the cosmic cube blue, because the as I said, the Allies were doing it right there and then. Like, reality was being changed at that moment, and I think that's kind of what it's showing, because it's the same blue as the cosmic cube. So it's like you're seeing that for him. It's basically instant.
Oh, okay, I get
He's gone into that pool. He's gone from there to this, but he's still got the memories of the change, Steve.
Yeah, I just think, they talk about, that's the original reality, right? That's the first one.
Yeah, like, you don't particularly... Well, you can just go straight into this without having read anything.
I would say so, too. I mean, you kind of get a sense of, like, how it's always been, like,
But at the same time, it's kind of... I wouldn't suggest going into it that way.
Yeah.
I would at least read Steve Rogers. Yeah, at least you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, at least most of it. But it's just there's that one I loved seeing in the beginning when they had kind of visions or whatever of what was gonna happen, and it shows him as something else. And I think Red Skull has a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but he looks like a happy family man.
Well, yeah, that's from Steve Rogers.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
No, that little girl in that panel in the pool is Kobik.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, and I love that he had like a family or something, and then it had and then it has like.
Where does he have a family?
Well, it just looked nice. It just made me look like.
No, but I'm saying, where does he have a family in the pool?
Oh, I don't know. It just looked like it.
Because like, he has the Kobik.
Yeah.
And then
I think it's because he was smiling.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Because he does have a daughter. He's got Sin.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy with him? But
So, and then you have those other moments of like, oh, you see I think that's Bucky and Sam and Steve, and how that's
Yeah,
kind of was like
that was
2015 or something, or
yeah,
2016.
that was from Pleasant Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously you see the Hail Hydra moment from
Yeah,
last year.
from Steve. Yeah, and then I just thought it was nice, like of how it all started. Like,
It was a really nice visual.
yeah, I dug it, and then I thought it was so smart the plan that happened. I was wondering who's narrating, and I assume it's Sharon Carter, right?
I assume it's Sharon Carter, yeah.
I was wondering. I was like, who's narrating this? And then I was like, okay, it has to be probably Sharon Carter. But I thought the whole plan of it, I thought it was amazing. I was like, that's so smart.
It's literally what Captain America would do anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Cap's always been capable of this sort of thing, but this is kind of like, this is unhinged. Like, this is the Cap without mercy. This is what Cap would do to get everything.
Technically, though, them bringing the Chitauri here wasn't more so the Chitauri would take over. It was more so that would happen.
Well, the Chitauri is to get all
the other heroes out in space.
The big heavy hitters out in space, like Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so
out in space, yeah.
The intention wasn't, oh, we want them so we can actually take over. The intention was so we can have them to do that, to bring the heroes out.
Yeah, everything is designed to divide and conquer everything.
Smart, I love that.
So
it's such
like,
a strategist. Like that's what they say in here too. He was always the most strategic one.
Yeah, it's just like, right, let's get the heavy hitters out in space so we can lock them out, and then they're just gonna eventually get fucked by these aliens. And the fact that they took out both Quasar and Hyperion,
she got eaten.
So did Hyperion.
Yeah,
and Hyperion came out of nowhere. Like, I read this and I was like, where the fuck has he been? Apparently he's been around.
And there's some heavy hitters right there, Quasar and Hyperion.
I mean, Quasar, like Avril Kincaid, is new.
Yeah.
But it's still like, you don't just eat Quasar. It's like, oh, I liked that character, I wanted more. But no.
Alright, so, we go through the whole issue, and then you see they're out there fighting in space with Captain Marvel, Quasar, some of the Guardians. And then the Defenders are in New York. They're trying to
all the New York heroes get fucked over,
except Peter.
Yeah, it's true. I suppose he might be like globetrotting about somewhere.
Yeah, he was busy doing something else.
But yeah, and Miles actually. Miles should be there.
Well, he's with the Champions. He's busy right now. You probably heard that inkling.
True. Yeah. But yeah, the Thunderbolts and all this is all the villains that Zemo was gathering up recently.
Yeah.
So like he's launched all of them out onto New York, and Nitro just destroys Times Square.
Cloak and Dagger are there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the part. That's the part too. I was like, damn, I did not expect that Nitro just to basically atomic bomb it. Like
that's what Nitro does.
Yeah, but I didn't expect it to happen. I thought they would have stopped it somehow.
Yeah. And then of course, like you say, they tried to stop it, but Jessica Jones is too slow.
Yeah, but the point to me when I was like, holy shit, is when they called him. It was like, all right, you have full control of everything, the U.S. government, marshals, everything. I was like, they done goof basically.
It's what he wanted, but that's the thing. Like they didn't goof. If he wasn't Hydra, that is the right thing to do.
Oh, that's true.
Admittedly, it's kind of like maybe giving one person that power is right. But in this universe, yes, you would give Captain America all that power.
But I guess you got to think of it too. As like, so there are these army of aliens in space coming to Earth. A bomb just exploded, like almost an atomic bomb just exploded in New York. And then there's all like, what else are you supposed to do? He's the only guy that seems capable of it.
Not only that, like Zemo uses Blackout, who was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That with the Darkhold to like seal off.
No,
New
but that's
York.
after. I would say that's not after till he gets full control. I would say.
Yeah, but that's still part of like the plan is to seal them off in New York.
All of them off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're all fucked in there, and it's just kind of like crap. Like
it's just like I love the fact where it's like. You used the like he told Captain Marvel's like you would have used this you did use this if you could, right? It's like when it's against like the world's greatest threats, and to him that's who they are.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, just that whole idea. Nick Spencer, man.
He set up a lot of dominoes, and it could have gone horribly wrong.
But it went.
But for at least this first, because it is a
Almost
first issue.
amazing.
Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
not a 0. It's an issue 1.
Yeah,
No, for this first issue, he knocked them down perfectly.
I'd agree. I'd agree. It's like you can't have a better start to an event than this.
No,
I think.
and like even like it speaks volumes, because obviously we've known for over like a year now, or over a year, that Steve is Hydra.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, personally, like, just watching him, like, or watching them find out, especially Sharon, that he is a part of Hydra. Like, you know, the helicarriers are being taken over, and all the Shield agents are being brainwashed by Faustus. And it's kind of like, he's just like, no, I've got this, people. Like, I was the one on the video. Like, this is me. And it's kind of like, what the fuck?
Albeit though, I would have been okay with a more different way of how, like, like how, because I know she was bound to find out something like that, but it just seemed like he said too much. I felt like if he just said hold your fire and they stopped, and then they said Hell Hydra, I think that would. I think he like saying I'm the one who rules this wheel, is like I'm the one who talks.
Yeah, but like the people, they wouldn't know.
I get that. I get that.
Why would they hold their fire if he just says that? He has to explain himself.
I guess to me, I wish they would have known, but that's me.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I really liked it. It's kind of like, look, I'm the head of Hydra. I will reveal my face soon. Like, it's not only Hydra finding out; it's Shield finding out at the same time that he's.
I think it's just. I think to me it looks more shocking if it's just like if they knew, like if Hydra knew Cap was their leader and then he says hold your fire and then hold your fire and then she says why are they stopping and stuff like that, and then he just looks at her and it's like I liked it. I don't know, there was a little bit too much talking where it kind of the dialogue, the too much dialogue laid off the shock, I think. Admittedly,
I'm
we
the
know.
opposite. I loved it. I loved how. Like, I think there was no bit of dialogue in this issue that wasn't needed. Like, even like the Tony and Riri stuff where they're going, like, trying to fix the shield. Like, just the fact that you see how panicked they are. The fact that they just realise that it's what they're doing is meaningless.
Oh no, because they knew something was on the software. That something
that's kind of like
that made sense. It was that little specific moment with Sharon Carter and those panels, that page. I just felt like from panel to panel there was a little bit too much in between. But I mean, to each his own. I just think that's such a really big nitpick that I don't think it really matters anyways. I mean, I liked.
I think it was because I was just so engrossed in what he was like, what Spencer was saying with this issue, and like how the characters were talking and interacting with each other. I just didn't know.
I think though the one thing I found good in that, even though I was like there's a little bit too much between, was that it gives off the feel that Cap still cares, but this is like he's not a villain, but this is just what he thinks is right, you know. It's
weird, like as I've said, it's the Steve we've always known. Yeah. It's just Steve from a different angle.
Yeah, so
like the person of Steve Rogers hasn't changed. It's just his ideals and what he believes in.
When he says, "Let me go get," no, he says, "When you're ready to listen." Like, I will try to explain when you're ready to listen. Like that's, you know, you're right. Like it is just the Steve we know, just different, a little different. And I think that's what makes it perfect. That he's not super ha ha ha. I'm the villain. It's who we.
He hasn't got a mustache that he's twirling.
Yeah, it's who he's always is. Just, you know, the war is two perspectives. You know, and then I just loved when he just like I just love that moment when he wrote it on Captain Marvel. It's like, yeah, take that. I don't know. That was just a cool moment. And he says goodbye, and he'll never see him again. Basically.
Oh, that bit I don't know, but that proper hit me. I'm just like,
this will be the last time we ever speak. Like.
It's like, this is dark. This has really gone to shit. Like,
I agree too.
Yeah. Like, I know people are event fatigued, but you just reading that, it's like there's something special going to come out of this.
And then, you know, he does the whole thing where he engulfs New York in like the shadow with the dark coat and all that. But the thing to me is who Iron Man calls upon. He calls upon, of course, the champions. Peter, who was probably doing some random stuff.
He calls upon every straggler that's left.
Yeah. Why weren't, you know, you could tell me more why, and this would also probably help the audience if they weren't necessarily reading every Marvel comic. But there's Hercules, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Patriot, who else? Wasp, Red Hulk, and Lady Thor. Where were most of them? And Black Panther actually too.
Hang on, I need to find that panel.
I mean, I just named you all. Like, most of them just telling you what were they doing before this, that they weren't called in before. Like, what were the champions doing? Oh, to be fair, the champions didn't want anything to do with the Avengers, so I get that.
Yeah.
I just don't get, like, I mean, I guess Lady Thor was, Jane Thor, she was captured, technically, right, in her book?
Well, we don't know when her book takes place.
Oh, yeah.
But, for all we know, I don't know, like, Spider-Man might have been still in Japan. From that book,
I get those. I get champions.
The champions, they're kind of like state trotting at the minute.
Nope.
Or globe trotting.
I get those two. It's just Hercules, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Red Hulk, Jane Thor, Patriot. Like, where were these people? And Unbeatable Score, Black Panther is even like, where were these guys? You think some of these would like Vision, Black Panther? You think they would have been called?
No.
That's a really nitpick.
They're like the Avengers team. Like, you don't know where like those Avengers were. Like, I don't know where Scarlet Witch was.
Yeah,
we haven't seen her since her solo book.
And I guess that adds to the mystery.
Hercules is on like the Avengers team right now. We don't know. Like, I don't actually know where they're doing at the minute. But like,
so they weren't in a recent book that kind of shows that.
Well, like, Black Panther could have been in Wakanda. Like, he could have been with the Ultimates off world. Like, maybe you can't be off world.
To my nitpick, though, it's these characters are not necessarily like they're good. They have good enough strength, but they're not necessarily Captain Marvel, Hyperion.
Well, I mean, you have a Hulk and you have Thor.
That's all you need.
And you have Scarlet Witch. You can literally warp the entire situation.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like. Okay, well, now I wasn't saying that.
I
was saying like,
they have heavy hitters.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, if they're the heavy hitters, how come they weren't called upon? If they were getting heavy hitters out in space, and I guess the champions wouldn't make sense. Yeah. It's just the Jane, like Scarlet Witch. We don't know where she was, so I mean that goes against my nitpick. I'm like, well, we didn't know where she was, so that makes sense. But I mean, Vision, Jane Thor, like. Do you know where they were? I mean, if you don't, if they haven't been seen in a while, that makes sense. Like, oh, they were probably out on their own.
It's weird because like Jane's on the Avengers, she's in her own book, she's doing two separate things. It's just one of those. Like, they're all. You're not meant to really think of where they were.
No, yeah,
I think like.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you could look at that as like a kind of like, well, hang on a minute, and immediately, thinking of it like. Scarlet Witch probably should have been taken care of, and so should Jane because, she's quite a heavy hitter.
Unless in the next book they kind of give off like where you been or whatever and stuff like that, and they give off quick dialogues of what happened, where they've been. Then
I don't think you need. I think it's so like it's
so small, it's so like minuscule that it doesn't even. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
No, because if you look at what people are saying about Secret, like this issue, like no one's really mentioned that.
This is true. This is very true.
It's kind of like
they're mentioning the more important things.
Yeah.
This is cool. I mean, Black Panther's on the Ultimates technically, so. But I guess what is he gonna do in space? You know what I mean?
Well, same things we do in the Ultimates.
I guess so.
But, he's probably in Wakanda. Right?
Yeah, he's probably chilling, and they're like, "Oh wait, y'all got this, right?" But I mean, these all feel like stragglers in a way, anyways. You know what I mean?
It is very much like a bit of a ragtag.
Yeah.
Plus, that's not everyone that's out there. You got like Mockingbird still.
I'm sure there's a lot more. But what is Mockingbird gonna do like this? I mean, I guess
Mockingbird's leading the team in the Savage Land.
Okay.
Don't discount Mockingbird. Mockingbird's a good little character. She's a good little fighter.
She's a good strategist, right? I would assume.
She's smart, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what she has going for her. She's smart. Because I'm sure in a fisticuffs between like all these, I don't think she's gonna be able to handle all like.
Well, I mean, depends who you put her up against. She's not exactly a slouch.
This is true. I mean, to be fair, you're really just gonna put Hulk, Vision, maybe Miss Marvel, Scarlet Witch.
I would say like you got 2 Hulks. You
get 2
have,
Ant-Mans.
which is actually enough. I think the Hulks are in.
Bro, you have unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Like, you don't need anybody else.
Yeah. Squirrel Girl's never lost a fight. So.
This is true. So I don't see why they're like mad or anything. Like, just put Squirrel Girl. Maybe what if she was Hydra? That's just a random thing.
Then everyone's fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But what would you say about this issue, though? Like, I loved it personally, and I had that small nitpick, but that's just like so stupid, and like that's.
I think it's nigh on perfect as like a start, to be honest.
I'd say so.
Like,
I go, yeah.
It might be because I've been reading the build up with like Sam and like.
No, I mean I think it's perfect.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just like for me, it's kind of like it might just be because I've read everything that's leading into this on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Uncanny Avengers. I've had that story leading into this, and it's paying off of that. Like Thunderbolts, it's paying off of that. Sam Wilson's going to be paying off of that.
And all roads lead to this, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm getting a lot of payoff from a lot of different series, and like even like Spider-Man, like Amazing Spider-Man, like this is going to have the Superior Octopus in there somehow. So.
Ooh, oh yeah, you're right about that. This is just. You thought it was perfect. I loved it.
Not perfect. It was not. It was close. It's probably like a 9.5. Perfect. Like a 9.5.
I think it gives you everything you wanted, and it gives you the big reveal to everybody now, knowing that he's Hydra.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think like if you ignore the fact, like if you don't like the fact that he's Hydra, and if you just completely ignore the fact that Steve Rogers is the villain, and just look at it from a story and event perspective. There's nothing to complain about.
I also think it makes it better that Steve Rogers is the villain.
I mean, yes, it makes it better because it's far more interesting. It's kind of like
I want one where Batman's the villain now, like because they always make it like Batman's always the good guy.
Well, isn't that metal?
And hopefully we'll see.
It looks like Secret Batpire, so
hopefully I would hope so because people don't like. Oh, I don't like when they copy. Why? If something works here, why wouldn't you want to see it with things you like the most? Like I like DC characters the most, but I would love to see a Secret Empire version of it. You know what I mean? That's like.
I think that's another reason why you don't get this that often. Like yes, you've had Tower of Babel, but Tower of Babel wasn't like this hero is a bad guy. It was a long time ago, but like yes, you had Batman with that contingency plan, but Batman didn't end up the villain.
No.
So it's kind of like this is kind of a first.
That's what I'm saying. Like we need.
And it's just good. Like you can tell Spencer cares, and like the art is fantastic, and Spencer just kind of like knock it out.
He made a very original story, I would say. I mean, original in a sense of like we've hardly ever seen this, but then if you go like hero turn bad guy, I'm sure that's been done before, but. This Hydra taking over with Steve Rogers at the helm, like that's different. That's interesting. Like what the heck?
The fact that it's, I don't know. I think the fact that his plan just generally worked.
Yeah, and it's also
it's just kind of like fuck.
I said it before, but it's also like you said too. Well, he's the Cap we always knew, but just different perspective. So it's like it's not anything different. It's not like he's.
No, they even say that in the issue. He's just kind of like, this is what I can do with that, like Mercy and stuff. It's just kind of like, fuck. Like, you do not fuck with Captain America.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So, I mean, I think, unless you have anything else to say about this issue, I think we'll probably end it there. Like, I just really loved it.
I'm going to say, I loved it. If you're on the fence about it, just read it.
Try it. I say so.
Just do yourself a favor, because if you don't enjoy it, fair enough. I highly doubt people aren't going to enjoy it.
You know what I'm forgetting? Inhumans and X-Men, shouldn't they be like? I'm sure they're gonna be because you saw Old Man Logan in the next. Well, the
Inhumans are locked out, ain't they?
Out of New York.
Well, as I said when I was talking about Royals, they hit the Chitauri wave. They are past that moment.
Oh yeah.
They're not on planet. They can't get back in.
You're right.
There's Secret Warriors, which is why that's the thing.
What about? Because I mean, technically the X-Men are still there, aren't they?
Well, yeah, the X-Men they're gonna play into it.
Yeah, because I see Storm on the next cover. I also see Medusa on the next cover, though. So
I don't know why Medusa's on a cover.
She might be part of it.
She can't be a part of it. She's out in space.
She might,
unless that shield comes down, she can't physically be a part of this.
Oh no, like, that too.
Actually, no, the shield has to come down because
they're coming back.
The wave hits the planet in one of the issues.
Oh.
So ignore that then. That's how, yeah. No, it's fine. I put the pieces in my
Oh,
head
okay. Secret Empire in May. Secret Empire #2.
Yeah.
The Defenders.
So
Seven,
we
The
now
Surviving Dark
have
Force.
we now have to wait until Free Comic Book Day for that issue to come out, which has a connection between I think it's between the Zero and the first issue, and then the same day I think you have the first issue.
Okay, so yeah, Free Comic Book Days. Yeah, the battle for Washington rages, but Captain America has an ace up his sleeve. So that's. I wonder which is going to be the one where he's donned the full Hydra clothes.
I think that's issue 3.
Can I just say I always like the way Baron Zemo looks.
If Baron Zemo has the collar, I think he looks amazing.
Yeah.
If he just has like just the skin tight stuff and the mask, he looks a bit like a rubber. But it's just kind of like, ooh, dick skin, couldn't you?
But that's it, right? Anything left?
Right. That's close to 2 hours, though, isn't it?
So we'll end it there because I'm really hungry. So with that, until next time.
Toodles.